Alas, said Morel with a feeling of selfish joy, for he thought this death would cause the wedding to be postponed indefinitely. But what redoubles my sorrow, continued the young girl, as if this feeling was to receive its immediate punishment, is that the poor old lady, on her deathbed, requested that the marriage might take place as soon as possible. She also, thinking to protect me, was acting against me. Hark! Said Morel. They both listened. Steps were distinctly heard in the corridor and on the stairs. It is my father, who has just left his study. To accompany the doctor to the door, added Morel. How do you know it is the doctor? Asked Valentine, astonished. I imagined it must be, said Morel. Valentine looked at the young man. They heard the street door close, then M. de Villefort locked the garden door, and returned upstairs. He stopped a moment in the anteroom, as if hesitating whether to turn to his own apartment or into Madame de Saint Méran's. Morel concealed himself behind a door. Valentine remained motionless, grief seeming to deprive her of all fear. M. de Villefort passed on to his own room. Now, said Valentine, you can neither go out by the front door nor by the garden. Morel looked at her with astonishment. There is but one way left you that is safe, said she, it is through my grandfather's room. She rose. Come, she added. Where? Asked Maximilian. To my grandfather's room. In M. Noirtier's apartment? Yes. Can you mean it, Valentine? I have long wished it. He is my only remaining friend and we both need his help. Come. Be careful, Valentine, said Morel, hesitating to comply with the young girl's wishes. I now see my error. I acted like a madman in coming in here. Are you sure you are more reasonable? Yes, said Valentine, and I have but one scruple, that of leaving my dear grandmother's remains, which I had undertaken to watch. Valentine, said Morel, death is in itself sacred. Yes, said Valentine, besides, it will not be for long. She then crossed the corridor, and led the way down a narrow staircase to M. Noirtier's room. Morel followed her on tiptoe. At the door they found the old servant. Barrois, said Valentine, shut the door, and let no one come in. She passed first. Noirtier, seated in his chair, and listening to every sound, was watching the door. He saw Valentine, and his eye brightened. There was something grave and solemn in the approach of the young girl which struck the old man, and immediately his bright eye began to interrogate. "Dear grandfather," said she hurriedly, "you know poor grandmamma died an hour since, and now I have no friend in the world but you." His expressive eyes evinced the greatest tenderness. "To you alone, then, may I confide my sorrows and my hopes?" The paralytic motioned yes. Valentine took Maximilian's hand. "Look attentively, then, at this gentleman." The old man fixed his scrutinizing gaze with slight astonishment on Morel. "It is M. Maximilian Morel," said she, "the son of that good merchant of Marseille, whom you doubtless recollect." "Yes," said the old man. "He brings an irreproachable name, which Maximilian is likely to render glorious, since at 30 years of age he is a captain, an officer of the Legion of Honor." The old man signified that he recollected him. "Well, grandpapa," said Valentine, kneeling before him, and pointing to Maximilian. "I love him, and will be only his. Were I compelled to marry another, I would destroy myself." The eyes of the paralytic expressed a multitude of tumultuous thoughts. "You like M. Maximilian Morel, do you not, grandpapa?" asked Valentine. "Yes. And you will protect us, who are your children, against the will of my father?" Noirtier cast an intelligent glance at Morel, as if to say, "Perhaps I may." Maximilian understood him. "Mademoiselle," said he, "you have a sacred duty to fulfill in your deceased grandmother's room. Will you allow me the honor of a few minutes' conversation with M. Noirtier?" "That is it," said the old man's eye. Then he looked anxiously at Valentine. "Do you fear he will not understand?" "Yes. Oh, we have so often spoken of you, that he knows exactly how I talk to you." Then turning to Maximilian, with an adorable smile, "Although shaded by sorrow, he knows everything I know," said she. Valentine arose, placed a chair for Morel, requested Barrois not to admit anyone, and having tenderly embraced her grandfather, and sorrowfully taken leave of Morel, she went away. To prove to Noirtier that he was in Valentine's confidence and knew all their secrets, Morel took the dictionary, a pen, and some paper, and placed them all on a table where there was a light. But first, said Morel, allow me, sir, to tell you who I am, how much I love Mademoiselle Valentine, and what are my designs respecting her. Noirtier made a sign that he would listen. It was an imposing sight to witness this old man, apparently a mere useless burden, becoming the sole protector, support, and advisor of the lovers who were both young, beautiful, and strong.